Well, right now we're hearing the 12 car is a little bit too loose at the moment. That's the reason he's running the top side of the racetrack, trying to get some side bite, trying to get the back of that car to stick to the track better.
Some of the guys who like this racetrack, we talk about the 4 wins for Jeff Gordon. In front of him is the 17 car, Matt Kenseth. His very first career victory came at this racetrack, Lowe's Motor Speedway, back in May of 2000. Now he moves in on the 12 car, Ryan Newman, and we're hearing reports that the 12 car is very loose entering the corner.
Yeah, he's just going to have to stay working on that loose section, Jerry. This is something the drivers can fix the next pit stop.
Is that why he's running? He run this high line because the car is loose. You're afraid to just turn the wheel too much? I mean, why is he running up there?
You're exactly right, Andy. The bigger part of the racetrack's on the top side. If they pin it down on the bottom, the car gets pretty loose. If they let the car have a little more room, move it up the top of the track, it'll handle better.
Jimmie Johnson moving in on Jamie McMurray. Johnson, of course, the 5-time winner here, swept both races at Lowe's Motor Speedway in 2004 and 2005, finished second to Casey Kane in both events here a year ago.
It's like Jimmy's got a better race car than Jamie right here, but he's just biding his time, being real smart. Yeah, I'm sure he wants these 5 points for leading, but he knows he's got plenty of time and a great race car.
Well, right now we're only 15 laps into this race, and these chassis are going to start changing a lot. They just need to stay working on them and stay adjusting on the cars, and it'll get a little different every single stop.
Jamie McMurray wants to win a race. Jimmie Johnson wants to win the chase. You're watching ESPN on ABC. Back at Lowe's Motor Speedway under caution for the second time tonight. One of the top rookie contenders, David Reagan, having trouble with his Ford. Roush Fenway car number 6 on lap 21. We'll show you what happened to David here just a moment ago.
Pretty tight racing right here. Oh. Didn't know that 41 was out there, I bet.
No, I just didn't see it coming. If I was a spotter, I'd have been hollering right now. He's an outside, but he might have been doing that. This stuff happens awful quick. You close the rate of closure. As you're coming to that start-finish line, that's your fastest part of the racetrack right there.
If you don't hear your spotter say somebody on the outside, do you assume that you're clear in that spot?
No, I don't. I'm looking at my mirror all the time. I don't totally rely on my spotter at all.
Folks, Jimmie Johnson taking over the lead here, going by Jamie McMurray. And, of course, he is also in the points lead as of right now, and also he's in the pits as of right now as we go down to Alan Bestwick.
Going to see a real strategy scramble here, Doc. Jamie McMurray going to pit from second. He's going to take just 2 right side tires, so that will set off a chain reaction down pit road. We'll see who else does the same. Jamie?
And Jimmie Johnson started second. Didn't take long to take over the lead. He said his car is just a little edgy, but it's not bad, and it's not bad off. He's pretty happy with it overall. He's expected to take right sides right now, and that's all they do. He's down and away. Dave?
Ryan Newman has faded back to fourth. The car was loose. It went to the tight side. He will take on 2 right side tires, slight air pressure adjustment. And Alan was right. They a variety of strategies. They talked about 3 different ways to service a 12 car and ended up with 2 right side tires and air pressure.
There's the race off of pit road. Got one car stalled up in the pits, having trouble getting in or getting out. One of the Dodges for Gillette Evernham has some damage on the right front. You see Ryan Newman gained a couple of spots by virtue of his pit position. They were able to pit. He was able to scoot across that line right in behind Jimmie Johnson. How tough is it to get tires changed in the pits? Jackman Michael Clyde on the 26 car. Jamie McMurray now Jack in the car, watching what's happening with the tires. Got to get that Jack to the other side, but only going to change 2 right sides. Made it a little bit easier. Back with a restart at Lowe's Motor Speedway in just a moment.
We go back to green racing here at the Bank of America 500. For those of you who just watched Kentucky stun LSU in triple overtime, 43-37, we welcome you to 500 miles of NASCAR going car to car. The battle for the chase reaches the halfway point tonight. Teammates Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson battling for the lead, and everyone else in hot pursuit as we go back upstairs now to Dr. Jerry Punch. And Jerry, what a year for college football. What's going to happen next, my friend?
Wow, what a year indeed, Brent. How about number one getting knocked off by a Cinderella team, having a Cinderella season? Congratulations to the Wildcats of Kentucky. Could that be an omen here tonight? Number one, maybe Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson getting knocked off by someone trying to have a Cinderella year.
What about Jamie McMurray knocking off Robbie Gordon right now, going for the lead? And McMurray's had a really good car in practice. We saw him early. Two teammates running side by side now. Look at this. Matt Kenseth's picking up the inside. And last night, Andy, we saw these Roush Fenway cars hooking up and driving off.
They got a great setup for this track. I've just seen that Matt Kenseth has just impressed me so much in this chase, how he's been so aggressive early. He's going for this lead and trying to get these points, and he's trying to do everything he can to make points, lead the most laps, lead laps.
You talk about being surprised. I was surprised how the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., rocketed around the top side. Now he seems like he's struggling just a little bit. But McMurray's not struggling at all right now.
It looked like McMurray gave that spot to the 17 car so he could get those 5 points.
Alan?
A couple things to watch on Matt Kenseth. First of all, he did just get 2 tires on his pit stop to keep his track position. Other thing is, watch that car hug that white line separating the back part of the racetrack from the safety apron. Matt's car in both of yesterday's practices was able to stay on that line all practice long. If they can do that all night long and be as fast as they are right now, they're going to be hard to beat.
Alan, this is something these guys need to find out if it's going to work or not. The 2 tires like our front leaders have done right now. This is a perfect time in the race to try it out. But take a look at the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., working that top side again. He's had 1 pit stop now, and he's been adjusting on his car.
You know, we saw the 29 car last night with Jeff Burton hugging that white line all night long, and he won the race last night. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. was going to beat him on that top lane if they didn't get that last caution. So I predict you're going to see this top lane we see Jr. running right now become the lane of choice.
I'm not going to bet against that one, Andy. That's for sure. He's comfortable up there.
Let's go down to Jamie Little.
Well, guys, Kevin Harvick just radioing in. They think they have a right side flat. He came in on that pit stop and took right sides. They think it's going down in the crew chief. Todd Berry are telling him, hang in there. We're going to get a caution. Hang in. And you see him dropping back 1 position at a time. They've had this happen to him already in the chase, guys.
Kevin Harvick just can't buy a break. He's trying to, after last week, trying to nurse that car at Talladega on 7 cylinders, somehow managed to get a 20th place finish and stay 5th in the chase points.
They've got to be shaking their head. It's just the same story, different chapter tonight. He's having the same kind of things go wrong. He's got to be thinking, man, what have I got to do different?
Jimmy Johnson back in 3rd position.
Tell you, we haven't talked much about Kurt Busch, but look at there right now. He's up in the 3rd position. His lap times are equal with the leaders. And Kurt's another driver working the top of the racetrack, and another driver that I picked. I think he can get back up in his chase for the championship.
This is a good example of how this top groove and the bottom groove are working. You see that 48 car stick right on that bottom line, and he gets through the corner real fast, but that momentum that the 2 cars getting from that top side is just hard to overcome. Jimmy says, okay, I'm going to try it now.
Jimmy Johnson had led 1,039 laps here at this racetrack coming into tonight. He's already credited with leading 6 laps. And here you heard Jamie talking about Kevin Harvick, the troubles he's had. He is on pit road now, slowing down and headed to his pits. Jamie.
And indeed, he is coming in. He's in now for right sides only. It was a flat. He said he felt it. They went through this at Loudon. They had not 1 but 2 flats that set him back in the chase. Right sides are on. He's down and away, Doc.
That tire might be flat, but it didn't look like it when he was rolling down pit road. Could be down a few pounds, but boy, that's a tough break for Harvick.
This is way too early. 32 laps in the race to already have these problems if he's going to try to go for the chase for the championship. His team looks like they're in trouble right now, but they're not quitters. I know that.
Kevin Harvick's never won at this racetrack here, making his 14th start. Surprisingly, as good as he is on 1.5-mile tracks here, his best finish was 2nd in his very first start here back in 2001.
And don't forget the All-Star race where he just spanked them here earlier this year, so he's got the setup for this racetrack.
Andy, I wanted to ask you, Dale Earnhardt Jr. as well as Kurt Busch, we see him running that high line. Do you have to set your race car up differently to go out and run the top groove all night long, or is it the same setup, you're just taking a lot of chances? What do you have to do differently to your race car?
Brad, that's a great question. I was down there talking to Steve Letarte with a 24 car, and he says he makes Jeff, and Jeff's philosophy is the same, to run that car on the bottom of the racetrack, all practice long, tune on the car on the bottom, and then if he has to move up to the top, they'll adjust. But if you got Junior, he's planning on running up there. This 2 car, Kurt Busch, he's planning on running up there, so I know that they have tuned their setup because it is a definitely different racetrack up top than it is on the bottom.
Alan?
2 tires for Kurt Busch on his first pit stop, Doc, to get some track position. This part of the race has been the strength for this 2 team. The early part of the race, where they've been missing, is that last adjustment on the last segment of the race to turn a good early part into a win. Kurt says the job tonight is to finish the job, to be as strong at the end of the race as they are now at the beginning.
Everybody always knew that Kurt Busch was a good driver. When they hired Pat Tryson to be the crew chief on this car, it absolutely turned this team around. They've been faster, they've been more consistent, and Kurt has a great relationship with this new crew chief, Pat Tryson.
Kurt Busch in the chase, and as you take a look at the top of your screen, you'll see the top ticker is where the drivers are running in the race. Now, right below that is our in the chase ticker. You'll be able to keep up with where the drivers are in the chase. Kurt Busch gaining a couple spots with that 7th place finish at Talladega a week ago. Back after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to Lowe's Motor Speedway. This beautiful aerial shots from high above this gorgeous facility, jam-packed with NASCAR stock car fans, courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. 2 car in the 48. That is 2nd and 3rd, Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson.
Right now, these two are running about the same speed, the same line around the racetrack. It's early in the race, just feeling these cars out, trying to see what they need the next pit stop.
It's like we got Harvick in the pits again here. Must not have got the right tire that was flat, or they may have another problem.
Yeah, this team just got lapped again. They're 2 laps down right now, and they've been way off the pace. Jamie?
Well, Kevin Harvick made the call. He said the car's just not feeling right. They think it's the left sides now, so he told his crew, I'm coming in. We need to get these tires off. We need to get new right sides and new left sides. So they're going to make those changes, and hopefully that'll help and push them through the pack. So they're exercising patience right now, Doc.
That right there is the reason that I would always get 4 tires when you have a problem, because it just seems like you never pick the right side or the correct side to change the tires on.
Heating up front here, Jimmy Johnson now trying to move to the inside of the 2 car of Kurt Busch. Johnson has already led 6 laps tonight. That's Jamie McMurray, the 26 car, the leader right in front of them, watching these guys run side by side.
You know, it appears right now that Jimmy Johnson can run the bottom of the track and the top of the track, Andy, and he's making up ground, you know, every single lap. I've been watching his lap times, and they're moving all over, but he's moving forward.
He's got the bottom of the racetrack working real well for him. He's getting through the corner faster than the 2 car is, but this momentum he carries off the top is taking Kurt Busch by him on the straightaway.
How much of that is set up from the crew chief, and how much of that is driver preference?
Well, there's a lot of driver preference or driver wants, but then once he tells the crew chief what he wants, it's up to you guys to get it done.
That's right. We got to make it work for him. He's saying, hey, man, I need this car to be a little freer so I can run right up next to the wall, or I need it to be a little tighter, and you got to make it work for him. He's going to give you all the feedback, and if it's not working right, he'll let you know.
Now, folks, remember one thing. These drivers practice during the day, and they're racing at night, so they've never run this particular weather setup yet, so they're making a lot of changes right now to try to get these cars working.
Looking at the back of the 42 car, Juan Pablo Montoya, he's had some damage on his car already in his Dodge. There's one Montoya. The bottom part of your screen has already had some contact with the wall and damage. You see a little bit of smoke coming out of the back of the car, and the leaders are now moving in on him as Jimmy Johnson has gone by McMurray to retake the lead.
Wow, that's weird. The Lowe's car leading at Lowe's Motor Speedway again.
Imagine that, huh?
Now he's got the lead. He's went past Juan Pablo Montoya, and for Montoya, that's got to be sickening. 47 laps in this race, and he's been in a wall, and he's already a lap down.
Just going to have to hang on to it until they can get a pit stop to fix this thing, beat the fenders out. He's probably got a little bit of damage with the toe end. Maybe they can adjust on that. It's going to be a long night for Montoya.
Let's take a look at our AT&T Crew Chief Challenge. Which former NASCAR Nextel Cup champion has the best chance to catch points leader Jeff Gordon? Would it be A, Jimmy Johnson, B, Tony Stewart, C, Kurt Busch, or D, Matt Kenseth? Text the word crew to 191 on your wireless phone and send in your answer. The results will be shown later on in tonight's broadcast. Here's Robbie Gordon headed to pit road in his car. Unscheduled stop for Robbie.
Well, look how totally unscheduled. I don't think he made a pit stop there when those other guys did under caution.
Andy, did you see all that brake dust come off the right front? It looks like these guys are already starting to use the brakes pretty hard.
Jamie, did they figure out what was wrong with the 29 car?
Well, indeed, that time they did. Doc came in and they changed all 4 tires. What happened? Kevin Harvick misdiagnosed the problem to begin with. It was actually a left rear flat, not the right sides. So therefore, they pitted 2 times, and they didn't need to.
2 car, Kurt Busch trying to go by McMurray for second position on the left side of your screen, and now probably a very frustrated and probably a little bit angry Kevin Harvick now getting up to speed after that wasted first pit stop.
That's the situation where I overrule the driver. He says, hey, I think it's the right side. You know, the driver can't really tell which tire's flat. He just knows the car's not handling right. That's when I would make the call to change all 4 tires. Don't take a chance on changing the wrong tire.
And you know, as weird as that sounds, Andy, why should a driver not know the difference between the right and the left? Let me tell you, there's 2 tires in the front that make a turn. There's 2 tires in the back that keep the back end hooked up. And sometimes they both feel the same. The right rear and the left rear, you just can't tell.
If you're